day 3 on waiting out the storm / waiting for a weather window. We got a visit from the Coast Guard this morning, which was very exciting. We've now been on the boat for about 3 days, I think, without leaving, and there's a chance we might go a bit crazy. So we're going to head ashore and see what we find. Let's go.
This is Josh and I'm Erin. We recently started documenting our travels around the world, hoping it will inform, inspire and entertain. Subscribe to join the adventure.
So most trips ashore start with finding a bin and finding a supermarket. They're usually our 2 necessities. We're going to head into town, hopefully in the right direction. See what we find.
So this is where we are, in a huge bay near the French town of Hyeres, still waiting for a weather window to sail over to Menorca. Hyeres is actually the oldest resort on the French Riviera, and the first reference of the town dates all the way back to 964. But sadly, with September now here, the summer season is over and the town is pretty quiet, but still very beautiful.
What's this?
Even it's a salt factory, a salt.
Oh yeah, look. So on the way in, what we saw, that big kind of lagoony area by the sea, is all the salt plains and the salt pans. But sadly, you're allowed to go in Wednesday, Sunday, and today is a Monday. So we've been waiting for a weather window to get over to Menorca for about 4 or 5 days now at least, and it looks like tomorrow might be our best bet. So from where we are now in a little town called Hyeres all the way down to Menorca is just over 200 miles, which at the rate we do, which is about 5 knots per hour, should take us around 40 hours, give or take. We need quite a big weather window, and the wind so far has either been coming from exactly the direction we want to go in, which doesn't work for us. It kind of be a 2 steps forwards, 1 step back kind of situation, or there's been no wind at all, or it's just been absolutely blowing a flipping hoolie. So none of which is good for a crossing over to Menorca that would take 2 nights. But tomorrow the wind is doing this. But by the looks of it, the most we should be getting at any point, hopefully, is about 20 knots of wind coming from kind of the northwest, which is quite good actually for the direction we want to be going in. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow we will be southbound for Spain. That being said, it could all go tits up. The wind could change, the weather forecast could change, and we might be stuck here for another 2 weeks. So even though by tomorrow the tail end of the storm that is currently passing over our heads will have pretty much died off, it will leave the seas out there pretty lumpy, quite rough, and I think it'll be quite a fruity sail for the first few hours. So I'm gonna pack everything away in here, make sure nothing can fall out the lockers, make sure nothing can break, and just generally get ship shape. Today's the day. We are leaving France. The wind's still looking pretty good. The weather window's still open. The sun's even come out. I don't think we're going to get a better opportunity than this for a crossing to Spain.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Next up, the Hyeres.
The weather forecast that said there was going to be quite rough seas and strong winds so far seems to be wrong, which could either be a good thing or a really, really bad thing. But so far so good. We've got nice kind of light northwesterlies, we've got the mainsail and the headsail out, and we're bobbing along at around 4 knots. 188 miles to go. It's definitely September now. Summer's over. Dad has 3 layers on.
Yeah, it's chilly in the breeze.
Good job we're going south.
It's a good job, yeah.
When 5 days ago we were sweating in Antibes. Yeah. If a week ago you'd said, look, I'm going to make leek potato soup for lunch, I would have thrown you overboard.
Well, I wouldn't have even gone down there for that long.
No, I wouldn't have even cooked anything for lunch. Now,
It's salad,
I
and that's it.
want something really hot.
Oh yeah, there.
There. That's not 200 meters now. Yeah, I think that's a whale. There's something.
Why is it breathing so much though?
Oh yeah, there.
That's got to be a whale. Oh, that was something big.
Oh,
That's a big splash there. No, that was big.
Get out again.
That was something.
Just in between the 2 big patches of cloud, even the clouds are flat.
There.
Heading towards the little line.
That was a big puff.
See that flow water behind.
No, that's a thing. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Something. What is that?
Yeah, I saw it. I think it's a dolphin.
I don't know, that's bigger than a dolphin.
Why is it? Oh my
wow.
god!
Yeah, you saw that.
I bloody did see that. It was massive.
Well, the puff was sort of, it was smaller than a whale, but definitely bigger than a dolphin would make. I mean, I don't know what sort of animal that size is in the med, but if you know, put it in the comments below. Yeah, give us some information. Oh, there, that's something, that is something. What is it?
Quite a lot now, and the waves are getting a lot bigger. We just got dumped on the starboard side, and hold on to that. Stay. Frankie's becoming quite blurry in the background. I think we might lose sight a bit soon.
It's about 5:30 in the afternoon. The water's getting a bit more fruity, a bit more lively, and the wind's picking up, which yeah, I mean, it's all to be expected, but yeah, part of the crossing is trying to force yourself to sleep when you're not on watch, so that you're ready for your watch. So me and Erin are both trying to get a little bit of a rest in before our watch tonight, but yeah, it proves a bit more difficult when you're in bed and you're getting tossed about like this. Everything's hanging off the walls, coming off. So that's actually the angle that we are.
What is it? So it's almost 8 PM now. The sun's just going down. I reckon we've got about 5 minutes left of sunlight. And Mum and Dad have gone down to bed, so me and Josh are going to take the first watch until about 11, 12ish. And then the wind starts to get quite fruity then, so we're quite lucky that our watch ends. But the wind's died off quite a bit now, but the sea is still really rolly, isn't it? It's going to be, I think it'll be tricky to sleep down below.
Miles to go.
That's amazing. You just see it starting to reflect on the water now. You see? Yeah, we actually timed this crossing really, really well tonight because it's a full moon and it's just started coming up above the horizon. It just looks amazing.
So we've just had to turn the engine on because the wind has died, and because of the waves. What happens is the head sail starts flogging. Because there's an updraft every time you drop down in the waves, and just to stop things ripping, because if it flaps too much it can rip. So turn the engine on and we're going to motor for a bit, get up to about 5 knots, and then the wind's meant to pick up around midnight. So fingers crossed it doesn't pick up too much, but yeah, we'll keep you posted.
So we have just passed the French-Spanish border, which means I'm pretty sure we're now in Spanish waters. I think it's about midnight now and our first watch is done. So Dad has now taken over and he'll wake us up around 4 AM and the whole process will start again. I'm ready for some sleep. I'm so tired. Good night. Our second watch begins.
we seem to have missed whatever really bad weather we were forecast to get. We seem to have outrun it, I think. But you can definitely tell there's been bad weather somewhere because the swell and the waves are really big. It's a pretty rough sea. Settle until sunrise now.
Portions of breakfast pasta.
I'm so confused about what kind of meal time it should be. So the sun's just come up, so it's breakfast time, but we're having pasta. Delicious. We have just crossed the halfway point, so we're about 101 miles in and 101 more to go. I'm really struggling to keep my eyes open. What? On the menu tonight we have a mushroom risotto with salad, avocado salad, and cucumber. So when you're at sea, cooking, or everything actually, just becomes so much more of a challenge. Like simple tasks like brushing your teeth or going to the toilet or making a cup of tea just become that much harder. So whenever we cook, we always try and keep it simple. So one pot dishes, things that require minimal cooking, salads, things like that. Just makes your life that much easier. We were about 12 hours out at this point, and we just had our first sighting of land, about 50 miles or so off in the distance. Luckily, our final night went off without a hitch, and we cruised into Port de Fournels on the northeast corner of Menorca at around 5 AM. 53 hours after we'd cast off from France. And just like that, our longest ever crossing was complete. We hope you enjoyed a closer look at what a night crossing is really like, and as always, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything else. Join us next week as we set foot back on land again, but this time in España, and head off to explore Menorca. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Have a good one.